Well, hello, everybody. It is Friday, the 11th of December, 2020, and the assault on the United States continues apace by the orange bastard in the White House. This is some unbelievable stuff, what Trump and now, what is it, roughly 100 white male Christians, neo-fascists, everyone, have joined forces to destroy, and I mean this literally, to destroy representative government in this country. Do you realize where we are, Truth Seeker? I mean, seriously, in what Trump and these white male Christian Republicans are doing? Do you realize where we are? This is a direct assault on the Constitution of the United States, the cohesiveness of the 50 states into one political entity. This is an attempt to bring about a second civil war, to rip this republic apart. You are aware of that. You need to be. You absolutely need to be aware of that, because that is exactly what this orange bastard is attempting to do. He is out of his mind. He's totally crazy. That's not an opinion. That is a diagnosis. Am I qualified to diagnose? Hell yes. If I see someone with a gun shoot someone in the street, I can very easily diagnose the situation and say, hey, the guy with the gun is a murderer. What Trump is doing in trying to feed his voracious ego and his malignant narcissism is to destroy the United States. I mean that literally. The key word there being united, to destroy us. Because 81 million of us had the absolute temerity to vote this pig out of office. So here we are. I mean, I can understand Trump doing this because he is insane. I mean, there's no debate. There's no argument. I'm not going to get into that thing about, well, Malloy, you shouldn't. First of all, you're not qualified to diagnose somebody psychologically. And second, it's not a good idea to do it remotely. Bullshit. We know, I know, the world knows what this monstrous bastard is attempting to do. And what he's attempting to do clearly defines him as a man gone completely mad. So here's where we are. I can't believe I'm doing this, reporting on this, but see, the time available before the Electoral College meets, and when is that, December 14th, and determines who the official winner of this election just passed truly is, before the Electoral College so-called meets, which, as you know, I know, we all know, in and of itself is a racist attempt to deny people the right for representation. But when it meets on December 14th, isn't it Tuesday coming? No, that would be Monday coming. And decides the electoral votes, which will then end this madness, one would suppose, although one would suppose the madness was ended after the election, November 4th or 5th, or 6th, whenever it was finally called. But between now and December 14th, Trump has very little time left to destroy the Union. And he has gone all out. He asked for a list of names. This is astonishing. But he asked last, Wednesday, for a list of names of the Republican members of the House who were going to sign on with him. I guess just members of Congress. Maybe it was just the House. I think it was just the House. They're going to sign on with him as friends of the court to the Supreme Court in this ridiculous, insane case led by the felon, the almost convicted felon, Ken Paxton, who is the Attorney General of Texas. This is, as I've said before, and other commentators have said, this is Ken Paxton's way to guarantee he'll get a pardon from Trump, a preemptive pardon, because Paxton is facing life in prison, 99 years, for the crimes he is accused of. So that's who's leading this, Ken Paxton. And now 13 or 14 states have signed on and 100 members of Congress. Jesus, bleeding Christ, do you understand? I know you do. I don't know why I always ask that of this audience. But is it not clear that what Trump is trying to do is destroy the union, bring chaos? And out of that chaos, he sees himself as remaining the authoritarian dictator of the Federated States of America, because we will not be united any longer. He wants the same role as Putin. This is exactly what this sick son of a bitch wants. So yesterday, the orange bastard ramped up the pressure on the Supreme Court to try to overturn Biden's victory. When he got the support, and this is staggering, of more than 100 congressional Republicans in what can only be described as an unprecedented, this is even worse than what happened during the lead up to the Civil War in the 1850s and up to 1861. This is worse. It's an unprecedented assault on the U.S. election system and the U.S. Constitution. Yesterday, in a tweet, this sick, destructive Donald Trump called on the Supreme Court to, quote, save our country from the greatest election abuse in the history of the United States, end quote. And in that statement, he's absolutely correct. Absolutely correct. But the abuse is that which is being perpetrated by Trump and his sewage-dwelling followers. And now this 100 members of Congress? Unbelievable. See, he had lunch yesterday at the White House, according to the Washington Post, with attorneys general, the highest law enforcement officers in a state, the attorneys general from 18 Republican-led states. And together they're asking the Supreme Court to dismiss the results in 4 states that Biden won, not in 4 states that Trump won, in 4 states that Biden won. This is the effort that this orange bastard is pushing. And then by late afternoon yesterday, 106 Republican House members, which is a majority of the Republican caucus. There's only 196 members who are Republicans in the United States House of Representatives. 106 of them had signed on to this amicus brief to support this insanity that's being led by the indicted felon, who is also the top law enforcement officer in Texas, Ken Paxton. Now, among the Republicans who signed on was this insane, this guy that got shot during the softball or baseball game a couple of years ago in D.C., Steve Scalise, whose brain was injured apparently. And he has become just totally incapable of rational thought. Steve Scalise, remember that ugly bastard? So the minority whip in the Republican caucus in the House, Steve Scalise, signed on to this. The chair of the National Republican Congressional Committee, Tom Emmer of Minnesota, Minnegoddamn-soda, signed on to this. And shortly after that, Trump, again, lying, just making shit up in one of his tweets, said, quote, 78% of the people feel, and then in parentheses, no, exclamation point, the election was rigged, all caps. This is like, I feel like what I'm doing is swinging a hammer at shadows. I'm afraid the shadows are going to get me. You know, I'm 6 years old and I'm under the covers in my bed, and the bedroom all of a sudden is full of shadows that are moving menacingly toward me. And I have a hammer and I try to swing at the shadows. Well, you know what happens when you swing at shadows? Nothing happens to the shadows. That's how I feel about all of this insanity. How does this stop? Well, in a democratic republic, we have to wait until the proper procedures have been carried out. Procedures that are put in play because of the madness of Donald Trump. Who couldn't see this as the final outcome of this sick bastard's presidency 4.5 years ago? Who couldn't see it? I saw it. I'm sure you saw it. But I think of the 64 million people in 2016 who voted for this monster, and how many millions of people who otherwise pretended to have a workable brain decided to vote for this monster rather than, oh, you know, Hillary Clinton, she'll have us at war with China within a week. Jesus Christ. But here we are. The truth is that Trump's legal team has suffered about 40 defeats in federal and state courts, including the Supreme Court's ruling Tuesday denying a motion to block Pennsylvania from certifying Biden's win in that state. You remember that was the one sentence statement. It wasn't a ruling, it was just a statement from the court, unsigned, no dissension, that more or less said to Trump's campaign, get the hell out of our courtroom, you sorry bastards. Go, scat. So what this orange bastards campaign and Ken Paxton and these attorneys general and now these 106 Republican white male Christian House members, what they have done, or what they're trying to do, is to negate 11 million votes in favor of Biden in Georgia, Michigan, Pennsylvania, and Wisconsin. 11 million votes. This is an attempt to destroy the foundation of this republic, which means it's an attempt to destroy the republic. I started bringing this up years ago, that the United States of America was under assault by these right-wingers, and this was before this orange piece of human waste wound up in the White House. But these white male Christian neo-fascist Republicans who are office holders and millions who are not office holders have determined that the United States is going to end. Hi, Truth Seekers. Mike Malloy here. As you know, we've switched formats and are now broadcast exclusively on the Progressive Voices Network. So that means you get fewer program interruptions, no corporate commercials, and lots of profanity. But our format change also means some of our radio listeners no longer hear the program. It's been a while since I mentioned our podcasts, so you may have forgotten that there is a way to listen to this program anytime you need a good dose of screaming. Visit MikeMalloy.com and subscribe to our podcasts. As a podcast subscriber, you can download the program to your mobile device and take me with you wherever you go. And if you have a friend who needs a dose of truth-seeking, you can give a gift subscription as well. That's MikeMalloy.com, and never miss a minute of the uncensored fun and frivolity.